for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we're
talking about the biggest game that I can remember in a long time. Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers. Will the Lions go to Lambeau Field and be able to play for a playoff game on Sunday Night Football, because the Seattle Seahawks play before? If Seattle loses, the Lions have a chance to make the playoffs. If not, will they just go ahead and beat Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Joseph Osteens, the Blowsteens there? We shall see. But in this stream, we got a good one for you. And I got my guy, Ant-Man. What's up, Ant-Man, from Roar to Lions UK?
Hey Mike, how you doing? Happy #FTP week to you, everyone in the chat. You got to put it in there. #FTP, sack Aaron Rodgers, all that sort of stuff. I can't wait to go to Lambeau and absolutely kick their ass.
Yeah, that, kicking ass is what we do here on Lions Nation Unite. That's what we do. All we do is win. And we may have Dose of Dion and Rad come on as well. They hit me up right at the last minute. I just got back from a doctor's appointment for my spine. So it's a little bit, that's why we're a little bit off here real quick. Kind of caught me off guard. So if they pop on, we'll get the answer from Dose of Dion and Rad for sure. But other than that, there was an injury last night that took place on Sunday Night Football. Everybody, put your prayers in. It was terrible sight last night, Ant-Man.
Oh, absolutely. I was up watching it late here because I was doing a few other bits and was watching it on and off, and then the ambulance was on, and then it stayed on, and then you saw what happened, and it was like, my God, it's so trivial compared to like the tackle and everything that just happened. And yeah, I hope to God that he's all right and that he gets well again. And it's just been amazing to see the reaction to it. I mean, the guy's charity drive was meant to raise $2,500. Last time I checked, it was like 3.6 million or something like that. I mean, it's just been great to see the reaction there, and hopefully he's going to be all right, and hopefully it'll be a nice surprise for him when he gets better. Hopefully that's happened.
Yeah, 100%, man. Definitely prayers up to him and his family. Cardiac arrest. I was actually talking to my doctor about that today, and we were discussing. They asked me if I seen it, and I seen it, and I was talking to him. Is it true when you lose a lack of oxygen for a period of time, you get brain damage? He said it's 100% true, but they got him mouth to mouth was really quick. So hopefully everything can come back from it. Good for him. And, that's what we're all praying for. I'm glad they canceled the Monday Night Football game last night. I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to play that thing after such a vicious injury there, man.
Oh, God, yeah. No, it's... yeah, it's just what you don't want to see. And the reaction said it all, didn't it? You've never seen a reaction that solemn, that somber before, and it was like, you kind of feared the worst almost initially, the way they'd gone off. But, thankfully, he hopefully should be all right from this. But, yeah, just something you don't want to see, and it was, yeah, hopefully you don't see anything like that again.
100%. Folks, we're live on Facebook and on YouTube, on both on my personal channel and not on my personal channel. So if you want to comment, you're going to have to go on Lions Nation Unite on Facebook. That's the only way for me to see it, because that's just the way that it works. So if you're watching on my Facebook, jump over to LNU, and I can read your comments. Let's get into this game, Lions and Packers. Oh, my goodness, man. This is a big game for our football team. It's a big game for a franchise as a whole. What's your just initial thoughts just thinking this? We're on Sunday Night Football. Do you like that? Are you excited? I know the players are hell of excited.
Oh, absolutely, I'm excited for this. I mean, even, For us over here, the game doesn't kick off till 1:20 a.m. So we're going to be going till about 4 or 5 in the morning until it's done. But this is what I wanted. I was asking for the game to be flexed. I want to see this team under the brightest of lights, and I want to see how they react now that there's bona fide pressure on them. This first year and 3 quarters, it's kind of been, we've been a team that's been rebuilding. There's not been much expected of us. The expectation hasn't been there. And then you saw towards the end of the season, the Panthers, they wobbled a little bit. We got the reaction we wanted against the Bears. Now, with potentially bona fide playoff ambitions on the line, I would not have it any other way, because if you want to get to the playoffs, you've got to beat the best and you've got to run the gauntlet. For me, I don't want to sneak in the back door because other teams lose or whatever. I want to go and lay out a statement victory that shows that we are worthy of going into the playoffs. And there is no more statement of victory than going to Lambeau in January with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in form at the moment in time and beating their ass on their own doorstep and getting into the playoffs. So I'm really excited. This is what we all wanted, meaningful football in January. And for this young team, it's going to be a huge opportunity for them to show what they're capable of and a huge learning experience for future years. So personally, I'm delighted with what's been flexed. Hardest situations make the best players.
Yeah, 100%. And I love the fact that we're on prime time. I love the fact that Dan Campbell loves it. I love the fact that the players are excited. And I love the disrespect Detroit's getting right now with the absolute fall in love with Aaron Rodgers. This is what I wanted here. Now, I knew this week was going to suck when the Packers won, because we knew all week they're going to be drooling over Aaron Rodgers. And that's exactly what's taken place. They're drooling all over him, but at the same time, that should really motivate the players and the coaches. Like the Lions have done means absolutely nothing. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's all about Aaron Rodgers. Well, okay. If I'm the Lions players and the coaches, just sit back and say, all right, I see you. I'll see you on Sunday. And the disrespect that even Goff is getting. Well, he can't play in the cold. He's terrible in the cold. The last game he just did was 350 yards in the cold, 3 touchdowns. The reason we lost in Carolina was majority of the fact that the defense could not stop anything. We won in New York. We won in New York twice, actually. So I'm real excited for this. Maybe we can kill some narratives in this game. I'm tired of these same old narratives because they still exist, even with the Lions playing well, Ant-Man.
Of course they do, and when you look at it on paper, it's like, oh well, the Packers were what 4-8, I think it was, and they're playing the Bears. There's 9 minutes left in the game. They're down like 10 points to them or whatever, and they're saying, oh, the season's over. It's a miraculous recovery. But what about the Lions? We were 1-6. Everyone had basically given us up as dead and buried. No one has come back from this deficit to make the playoffs in a long time. It's only been done twice to come from 1-6 to make the playoffs, and it's like we're in red hot form as well. Why are people not acknowledging that? Yeah, the Packers are in form. So are we. We've come from an even bigger deficit than they have. And you mentioned with the quarterback, Packers fans can cry all they want. We have the better quarterback coming into this weekend. I don't mean statistically over the years who's the better quarterback. Who is playing the better football right now at quarterback? Jared Goff is playing the better football right now at quarterback. Who is the better offense out of these two right now? Who is playing the better football? Ours is playing better football at this moment in time. We can put up points on here in the defense. Yes, it can be bad on its day, but for 4 of the last 6 weeks, it's actually been pretty good, and it put in one of its best performances in a very long time on the weekend, just gone, because it's healthy, and it's getting there. And people are acting like Green Bay are just massive favourites. It's the cold weather. Get the hell out of here. Tampa have been there and won. San Francisco have been there and won. Teams who play in hot weather climates and were not expected to do well there either. We've got the informed guys. We've got the better roster. I think we have got the better roster out the two. And we've got the fighting spirit that we need to go there and win. So I'm like you, Mike. I'm tired of these narratives. Everyone just saying, oh, it's theirs to lose. Well, we've done more than they have to come out of a hole here. So respect us. And if you don't, you're going to lose. Because this team is really going to surprise you.
Yeah, definitely. And we knew the media would kind of be like this, right? With Aaron Rodgers on their knees, doing their good work to Karen, kind of like Joseph Osteen out there on his knees all the time. So let's get into this game here real quick here, and let's do some lovely matchups here. Now, the Green Bay Packers defense ranks 17th in the NFL, points allowed per game. Not all that great there. Yards allowed per game, 18th in the NFL with 337 passing yards per game. Packers defense is good, 4th in the NFL. Rushing yards, 26th in the NFL, and they're +4 in the turnover differential. What should the Lions do in this game to, offensively to get their yards they need to defeat the Green Bay Packer defense?
Well, you kind of said it there, Mike, when you were going through a few of those things. The most critical thing here is you can't turn over the ball. Packers defense started slow, but we know the talent is on there. And in the last 10 games, in the first 6 of them, they had 8 turnovers. In the last 4 games, they've had 12 turnovers. They're averaging 3 a game. Now, I know it's against some shoddy teams like the Bears and the Rams, etc., but that's how they're winning football games. Their offense ain't the greatest in the world, but they're giving them lots more possessions to work with to score the points required to win games. So, as our offense, we've got a quarterback who's looking after the ball well at the minute. Our running backs are generally looking after the ball pretty well. Yes, we had the one fumbled snap. It was a freak accident, and it doesn't usually happen. So, carry on looking after the football the way you have. And I'm confident the Lions can do that. That's the matchup I really like here. Our ball security is going to mean they're going to have less chances to score points. And then you've just got to do what you did against the Bears. Establish your trench warfare. I mean, this is where I'm really looking forward to seeing the Lions offense. I mean, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, these guys on there, they're a hell of a lot better than what the Bears rolled out against us. And our offensive line, and I've mentioned it a lot of times, and I know people might be fed up with me saying it, but you have 3 first-round picks on your offensive line. This is why you invested 3 first-round picks in your offensive line for big nights under the lights like this, where you establish trench warfare, you win the trenches and win the big games when it matters. So that line has got to dominate like it did against Chicago. This Packers defense ain't going to wave the white flag half the way through the game like they did. They've got to keep going, keep blocking the way they did, run the football well, and put Goff in position to succeed with the play action game, which has done us so well. That's what you've got to do. You've got to carry on the formula that's gotten you all these points so far. And if you do, we'll put down a lot of points on this Packers defense.
Let me know in the comment section, who do you got winning the game? L for Lions, P for Packers. Let me know who you guys got winning this game. Spam the comment section with L's and P's. I suspect there's going to be a lot of L's in there because this is a big rivalry, at least for our our fan base. We absolutely love this matchup here. We love Aaron Rodgers. We love going against this guy. So it's going to be fun there. For me, it's run the football. The run defense of the Green Bay Packers is suspect. Again, 24th in the NFL. We got two-headed monster. Get them back in this game, just like we did last week. You run the football, you have the ability to do play action. And we've seen what play action can do. A lot of quality first downs. With Amon-Ra first downs, so run the football. Stop this same old narrative that the Lions can't do anything in the cold, because I think we can. More question marks should be in Green Bay. They're the ones that's been losing in the playoffs in the cold. Yeah, if Tom Brady come in there and win, they're consistently losing in their home games. So maybe they should have a little thought about there. But run the football and don't turn the football over. That defense of theirs is all about taking advantage of turnovers. So Jamal Williams, hold on the football a little bit tighter than you usually do. And Jared Goff, just keep doing what you have been doing. It's clearly working. You're not throwing interceptions. That's how the Packers win on defense. Now, offense. Ant-Man, what can the Lions do offensively? What can the Lions do defensively to stop down the offense of the Green Bay Packers?
Well, first off, you've got to shut the run game down. That's kind of what we did better in the first game against them this season. But if you let Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon get going against you, then that sort of negates the issue they have at wide receiver. I know it's sort of been a problem for them all season, but if you're putting them in difficult situations, in longer down situations, it makes it so much harder for them to be able to move the ball on you. So bring pressure. Aaron Rodgers has not looked good this year. He's throwing more picks than he's ever done. I think the most since his Super Bowl year, which was an age ago. So the opportunity is there to be had. He's rushing a bit more under pressure. He's not as calm and calculated as he usually is because that offensive line is bleeding pressures. So I think you've kind of got to be aggressive again at this one, because you would trust your corners, you would trust your secondary to deal with what they're offering. Obviously, you've got to be careful with Watson, and Lazard's in there, but I think you sort of have to throw a bit of caution to the wind here. This is a big game for us. We can't afford to just kind of sit back, be placid, and just let them move the ball on us slowly and grind the clock out on us. I think you kind of have to go hell for leather, like we did against the Bears. We know the weakness was their offensive line, and we sat Justin Fields to kingdom come, to the point where he couldn't run anymore, the point where he couldn't make throws anymore, the point where they literally waved the white flag on offense. They just gave up. And I think you've got to take exactly the same approach here against this Green Bay side. Just knock Aaron Rodgers around, get his ass on the ground, just make him start doubting himself, get him angry, riled up, make him bad calls. Do that, bring the pressure, and stack the box against the run.
Folks, when we do the QA session here in about 12 minutes, it'll be hashtag FJO. That will be the hashtag to get your question answered. And it is a troll who loves trolling me. So I'm doing his initials for today, hashtag FJO. And that's going to be a regular segment, at least on my personal channel, for many, many, many things to go. If you like to troll, I like to troll back. So that's how we're going to do it there in about 12 minutes. For me, we got to stop Aaron Jones. That's really how their offense has been. They're becoming more of a running football team. Yeah, obviously Aaron Rodgers, you got to worry about him, but their offense works with Aaron Jones. You got to stop this guy. You got to stop Aaron Jones. Do not let them run on you. Do the same game plan we did against Saquon Barkley. Really important there. If you stop him and you force Karen to throw the football, and that's how we get it done, man. That's how we get it done right there. I think the Lions can do it, win the game, if you force Karen to throw. Now, look, I think we got to be aggressive. I think we got to consistently, on offense, just don't stop, because they can strike quick, but I think Aaron Jones is my number one priority defensively. If we can slow him down, we're going to have a shot. If he sits there and runs like the Carolina Panthers do and did, we're going to be in a world of hurt. That's for sure. So I want to, shut him down and then make Aaron Rodgers kind of the secondary to him. He can still throw, absolutely. He can get Christian Watson the football, no doubt. Romeo Doubs, no doubt. But if Aaron Jones runs wild, then their whole offense is going to open up. And that's not what we want. We don't want them to be able to dictate what they're going to do offensively against our defense, in which is suspect. We'll see. I think they're going to be a little bit motivated in this game. What's an X factor for you in this game, Ant-Man? Offense or defense?
See, to be honest, I think the defensive line is going to be the X factor for us in this one. We've long talked about the offensive line being the one that gets it done, but the defensive line seems to be getting it together at the right time. Everyone's playing in sync with one. Literally, you saw everyone chip in last week. Hutch 1 sack, Pascal 2 sacks, Houston 3 sacks. You got the interior guys playing really well against the run. Your edge guys are playing disciplined against the run there. I feel like it's a unit that's very confident at the moment in this time, because we've got two of the most informed rookies in the league on there who are playing out their mind at this moment in time. And then you've got everyone else who is combining. So I think that D-line is the X factor. Like you said, if you shut Aaron Jones down, stop him running, stay disciplined with the gap maintenance and all that, making sure he can't go. And if you get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, you'll kill that offense. And like I said, offensively, I think we match up very well against them, how we come in. So, yeah, the defensive line's the X factor. We've got to get to Aaron, and we've got to shut the run game down. Otherwise, it'll be a long night.
Yeah, they got the 11th ranked offensive line per PFF. The Green Bay Packers. I tell you what, if James Houston can do what he did last week, we're in for some good love here, because Aaron Rodgers is going to get it. He's not as mobile as Justin Fields, and the Lions have to win on that defensive line. They gotta win it. They absolutely got to do it. So I'm with you. I love that fact there. I think for me, it'll be how about DeAndre Swift? He's got to be our X factor. If he can hit those holes and make big plays, it's really going to force the defense to maybe stack a safety up there. Then we can do our play action. Then we can make our big plays. That's exactly what we want to see. is this offense open it up. So I'm going to go with that one. Flags, Weston Lion up there. Man, we got to 100%. We got to play sound football and not do flags. Holding, we can't be able to slow down drives with that. This is not the Bears where you can gain a 3rd and 18. It's going to be more difficult because the secondary of the Green Bay Packers is much improved when compared to what we just seen there. It's going to be harder. Definitely got to play sound football and do the best we can do there. Do you think we should be aggressive, go for it on some of these 4th downs?
I think it depends where you're at in the game. I think at least for the first half, you've got to be sensible. If there's points there, take them. Don't be too, just keep yourself in the game. Don't put yourself in a position where you're putting yourself out the game. If you're 10 down, don't start making rash decisions. If you've got to take a field goal, take it. Just keep yourself in shooting distance. And then as the game goes on, then you start taking your risks. Then you start being a bit more aggressive with things. But, I mean, I'd like to see them play a more sensible game. That's what I really liked about the Bears game in the first half when they were actually trying. When Dan Campbell took the field goal late on, it was, we were 4th and 1 or 2. We weren't that far away, but it's like when you're on top, when you're beating teams down, just keep the scoreboard rolling, just keep that pressure building up on them, and then you can drop the hammer later on in the game. So I think defensively you have to be aggressive. I think throughout, possible. I think you have to be from the off, set a tempo, set a tone, because you've seen when you stop that Packers offense from functioning, Aaron starts shouting at his receivers, his offensive linemen start suffering lapses, and it's tough for them to get going again. But offensively, just be sensible, keep the points going up, and then strike the hammer later on in the game.
Let's get to score predictions. 30 score predictions in the comments section right now. What is your score prediction for this game, Ant-Man? Let me know, man. I want to hear
it. It's a tough one. I think I was well off with the Bears game. I think I said 27-17, but I think I got this nearly right. But 37-27 Lions.
Oh, I love it.
I think this is our turning point, our true turning point. I don't think this Packers team are as good as the media is making it out, and I think our team has the heart and desire to go there and get it done. I think they're going to overlook us, they're going to get smacked in the mouth, and they are going to be like, oh my God, how do we deal with this? We can't. So Lions win by 10.
And I think the Packers have been doing a lot of scoring because they're getting these turnovers. I mean, you've seen it with the Miami Dolphins. They had 3 interceptions. This last game, they're getting interceptions and picks. It's going to be difficult because Jared Goff doesn't do that. He's not erratic like Tua was or erratic like Kirk Cousins is. So I have the Detroit Lions winning this game 27-23 in a closer game. Because it is an NFC North game, I think it's going to be a little bit tough, but I tell you what, I would rather have your prediction go right. Let's see what the comments got going on here. John Ball says 34-28 Leos. Weston Lion 24-21 Lions. Christopher Gullett 34-28 Lions. 35-24 Lions Gangster. I love that name, man. Lions Gangster that's gangster, man. Hope you're right, Ant-Man, says Dr. Detroit. Joseph Murdoch says go Rams 100%. Brian Smith says we need to beat Green Bay. They are embarrassed after losing the first time. Need to show them it's not a fluke. But wouldn't it be nice to freaking sweep the Packers? Oh, man, that'd be nice. We got 29-25 Detroit Giovanni Lions. Love that one. 28-17 Lions. 28-31 Lions. Simba win. Love it, Ezzy. 24-19 Green Bay Dr. Detroit. All right, folks, it's the mailbag segment. If you got a question, hashtag FJO, and we're going to give it to you the way we like to. All right, man. Favorite time of the day. I don't know why that just occurred. Favorite time of the day, and why the heck is this doing that? I don't know what's going on. For some reason, this thing is screwing up. What in the heck? Hold up. Trying to get this thing here. trying to get this. All you see is a picture here, and I'm going to just go ahead and remove this bad boy somehow, some way. I don't know what happened. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me see if I can figure it out. Some weird just took place, and I don't know what it is. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, crap. I got to click all this crap here. Something happened. Something happened. Let me get the swoosh out here. No. Oh, here it is. It is this, and it's gone. There we go. I don't know what the hell happened there. What in the hell is going on here? I'm going to have to delete this whole thing. Let me close this out. There we go. Whoa, that was crazy. That was definitely a technical difficulty. If I missed your question, let me know that I missed it, because I guarantee I did while I was having that technical difficulties. For sure, hashtag FGB. Do you think Rodgers throws 3 more interceptions this game? No, I don't think 3. What do you think, Ant-Man?
No, I think it's highly unlikely he does that again. But I think we'll get turnovers. You know, we've been getting a lot of fumbles recently. They're really trying hard for the ball, hitting it out of there. I think we'll get 3 turnovers, but they'll not all be interceptions.
Let's see here. Hashtag FJO. How many sacks we get? I'll go 3 sacks. What do you got, Ant-Man?
Oh, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to go 6.
Damn. No, I like 6. Oh, man. Hey, if we do that, you got to win the game. Hashtag FJO. Over and under 2 ghost penalties. Over. Happens every single time. That's the one thing I hate about Green Bay. The ghost penalties. Good grief. That's why you got to smash the hell out of the Packers. You got to smash these guys because you know it's happening. Every year they get it, man.
I had it, for some reason, it was recommended on my YouTube feed today of the Flowers penalties back then. They must have known I was tweeting Lions Green Bay, and that video came up, and I watched it, and it upset me all over again.
Mike McCall dropping a $20 super chat like a G. Says hashtag FJO. I really do not want to spend big money on outside free agents. Stay the course with the draft. It has been working perfectly. Re-sign our guys we want to keep. BPA, baby. So he's all about the draft. He's all about doing what we have been doing. I feel him. I feel him. I don't mind that at all. His thoughts there. It has been working for sure. What are your thoughts on signing free agents in free agency here that's outside of Detroit?
We're not going to have any money to do so. So I don't think there's going to be that much anyhow. I mean, if Goff stays, that was going to be a big saving in the off-season. That doesn't look likely to happen now. And even if you do cut all the usual suspects, I think you're up at like 48 million. You've got to keep 15 spare for the season. Your 2 draft picks in the first round are going to cost you over 10 million. You've got 15 more players to put on your 53-man roster. Then you've got to pay your practice squad. There ain't going to be a lot of free money there. And we got a lot of free agents this offseason who we got to pay. We've got to keep Deshaun Elliott if we want to keep him. Paul, Azzalone. There's a lot of people who got to pay. I don't think you're going to see anything in free agency that's worth more than a little bit of money because we don't have it.
I disagree there. I think we're going to, because you got Charles Harris. If you release him, Michael Brockers, and Big V, you're at $62 million in cap space. So I think that they'll have the ability to sign a free agent or 2. And finding what's going to take place with Jeff Okudah is going to be really important, too, because if he's benched again, you have to think maybe he's not part of, like, really the future of this team. So they could go cornerback, maybe get a guy in free agency. But we do got to re-sign some players, like DJ Chark. I'd like to re-sign him, depending on the contract, though. I'm not going to pay this guy Kenny Galladay money, but there's some players out there I would like the Lions to bring back. We'll see. It's going to be fun. I think this what this offseason's all about. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a great offseason, but I have no problem by Mike McCall like that. Show some love to Mike McCall, dropping a $20 super chat. Mike McCall, get some love in the comment section for sure. This guy is a G. Wayne Shirk, hashtag Mr. Osteen, what are your implications for this game beyond this year? What are your implications for this game beyond this year? Are you trying to say, like, if we win or
What are the
lose.
ramifications? What are the ramifications of this game if we win
Oh,
or lose?
win or lose, we'll win. I mean, you have a winning record. You're going out on a great end to the year. Winning would be, 8 of the last 10 games. Free agents will look and say, this team is winning, and this guy, Dan Campbell's getting it done. You lose, it's not really that much. I still think that it was a good season, in all honesty, regardless of what happens on Sunday. What about you?
I think it depends on what happens. I mean, if you win and you're in, the ramifications are huge because you're in the playoffs in year two, and fans don't generally like to see teams regress. So you will be looking at similar next year. So obviously the pressure goes right up. You're under pressure sort of to get more players in, to get them going. If you get blown out, then I think it puts a lot of pressure on you because despite it being a good season, it shows that you are still a long way away from winning an NFC North title. These are the kind of games you've got to win if you want to win a title. So, but if you play hard and you show that you can go toe to toe with the Packers in this sort of environment, from where we were 2 years ago, this would be a massive achievement to run them close in a playoff game with implications for both teams. So I think it really depends on what happens. But going into next year, regardless, the Bears are bad. I know they've got money, but they're starting off from such a low point. The Vikings, the Packers are on their way down. I think there's going to be genuine expectation on the Lions to win the division next year. And Campbell has uttered those words himself now. So, that's going to be on soundbite forever. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this team this year. So winning this, I think, would make me feel a lot more reassured that next year's aspirations are possible.
Hashtag FJO. If Glenn has shoddy calls for defense, you think he should be fired? That's a great question, Christopher Gullett. And I think the fan base is kind of split here on Aaron Glenn. I got to tell you what, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I get told YouTubers can't have emotions. I'm an emotional person. And when I was watching that game,
Me too.
I'm very emotional, and I'm going to admit it. I don't care. I'm an emotional guy. And I was watching that game, in the first 2 drives, I lost it. I'm like, I've had enough of this, because you're talking about Carolina running all over us, and then you had Justin Fields. I'm like, if they continue to blitz on 3rd and 4, when are you going to learn? But it felt like he switched it up after the first 2 drives with Aaron Glenn. I don't know what to do here, man. Like, for a personal thought, should they fire him? Should they not? Defend the Glenn is speakeasy. I think this is split. What do you think happens with Aaron Glenn? Because I'm 50-50 on it.
See, I'm leaning towards keeping him for another year. And the reason why is because I think he's been hamstrung by the lack of genuine bona fide veteran talent on this team. Think of all the guys who've let him down since he come here. You've got your Jamie Collinses, you've got your Michael Brockers, you've got Trey Flowers, all these guys who've cost us an absolute fortune to cut. And we've had very little bona fide veteran talent for him to work with. And I think there's only so much you can expect the defense to do when it's full of rookies, undrafted free agents, and guys who we've picked up off other teams like Kaminsky and Elliott and stuff like that. And I think, for me, I'd love to see him given a shot, knowing that we've got some bona fide leaders out there. I would like us to invest in one over the summer, even if it's an older guy who will come in and actually earn his stripes here, who will actually, because during that Panthers game, the lack of leadership was it was there to see. There was no guy who was picking them up, who was pushing them forward, who was making that play and leading by example. And I'm not sure it's Glenn's fault that he's not had that guy with him on this team so far. So if he gets that, merges it with this young talent, and still fails, then I'd be him out. But I think the lack of veteran leadership on there has hindered him and has afforded him a chance to go on a little longer.
I heard Okudah was hurt. What is your thoughts? I did not hear that. Did you hear anything on that? I don't know. They said he
was favoring his right arm in the last game on the sidelines, but to be honest, I think every single player on that team is going to be hurt now. Frank's going to have an operation. Frank's going to have surgery when the season's done. He's playing through it. It's that's where we're at now at this point of the season. It's aches and pains and bumps and bruises, and you've got to fight it out a few more weeks.
Hashtag FJO. What are you rooting for the Rams to lose for all the chance of a top 4 pick? And a shot at Jalen Carter. Man, I want to make the playoffs. Like, that's not even a question to me. You know, it sucks because you don't want to root for the Rams, but at the same time, I want to make the postseason. And I'm honestly tired of being connected to the Rams. So, you know, it started off fun at the beginning of the year, but I'm ready to be done with it. Next year, we're not connected to them anymore, so I care less what they do. That will be nice. He says, go, Pat, go. I got to say, obviously I disagree. I want the Lions to win, but your avatar makes it a winner. So this comment's a winner because that avatar is freaking hilarious. So automatic win there. Will Karen leave Green Bay if we win? I don't think so. I think he's going to be there next year. I 100% do believe that. If I miss your question, just repost it. We'll get to it. Hashtag Mike, what do you think the national and local media narrative will be if the Lions beat Green Bay and Goff outduels Rodgers and Lambeau Field? I think they'll say the Lions could make a run. I think that's what they'll say. If the Lions get in the playoffs and beat Green Bay Packers, they're going to say, watch out. You already seen Mike Martz come out today saying the Lions go to the NFC Championship. You've seen the narrative before Karen was getting out there and doing his thing the last 4 weeks that nobody wants to play the Detroit Lions. If they go and beat Green Bay, I think that's what the narrative will be. What is your thoughts?
I think that's when people will start taking us seriously, for real. I think that's when the real appreciation for this team will come because, as it said to me a lot of times, you kind of have to earn the right to be respected by the media in a way. And we kind of do because we have a history of being failures, of being losers, of doing nothing. And until we win games like this weekend, where it's a bona fide tough game for us and we go and kick someone's ass, then they're just always going to think we're phony. And it's up to them, it's up to us to prove them otherwise. And this would be it for me. I think this is where the attention comes. And by the way, if we do win this game and get into the playoffs, Dan Campbell should be coach of the year, and it should not even be a story. He should just win it flat outright from what's happened with this team in 1 year, to take them from a 3-win team to a playoff team, which we've not done in a while. Dan Campbell should be coach of the year.
Yeah, I tell you what. I got to say, not Green Bay, but Minnesota is the worst 12-win team I think I've ever seen. Like, when they win, it's last second, but when they lose, they get smoked. Like, holy God. So they could be one and done, so I'm with you on that one. Mike, 24/7 on Tilt. I'm not going to lie. When I first read this comment, so I highlighted it, I was reading it without the L, and then I laughed. I laughed in my head. I don't know if you've seen it, but that was a couple minutes ago. I was like, dang, man. Rumor, Stafford is starting. I did not hear that rumor. Have you heard that rumor?
Someone made a thing on Twitter. It's fake.
Okay, it's fake.
And then Kelly put the Instagram post up saying she's rooting for the Detroit Rams. So how perfect a story would it have been if Stafford was fit? That he finally gets us to the playoffs and he's not even playing for us. But it would have been a great story. But no, he's not playing.
Baker's not that bad though. He's played pretty good for the Rams. So we'll see
us owning their pick is the best thing for us because they've no reason to tank now. Who cares if they're picking 25th or 26th in the draft? You care when it's the difference between 5th and 3rd, not 25th and 23rd. So we've taken away their biggest reason to lose this game.
Is Goff comeback player of the year? It's probably going to go to Geno Smith, in all honesty. I think Goff should be in consideration, but who on planet Earth thought Geno Smith would be doing what he's doing?
Jared Goff is currently 4th in comeback player of the year voting. If he gets the Lions to the playoffs, that'll jump. If Geno doesn't get to the playoffs, I reckon this weekend will decide it. If whoever gets to the playoffs out of Geno and Jared will get it.
Yeah, you'd think Geno because, you could say, well, look, Jared Goff could probably have a pretty good year. I think a lot of us thought, man, I think he'll do decent. I don't know if really anybody thought Geno Smith would do anything this year. I was like, man, they're going to be the first pick in the draft. And when I looked at this roster and, 70% completions, they have a chance to make the playoffs. I think a lot of people expect them to be a top 5 draft pick. Well, they are, but it's just with the Broncos pick. But what a trade they got. Good grief, man. Russell Wilson falling off a cliff, and they getting a good one. Hashtag FGB Super Bowl predictions. Oh, man, this is a tough one. So it's a tough one. I want to go Chiefs. I feel like it's Chiefs, Bills, or Bengals. I'm going to go Bills. I'll make them as the AFC champs. And I'll go San Francisco 49ers for the NFC. They're on a tear right now. I don't know how they lose. Their defense is so good, and Brock Purdy, and Brock Wright, both Brocks are doing great, but they're going to get Deebo Samuel back. They got a really good football team over there. That's my picks. Who do you got?
Bengals, 49ers.
49ers too, yeah.
Bills can't run the football when it matters, and the Bengals D-line will destroy them. So I got that. And the 49ers, I mean, they're on the third-string quarterback, and you wouldn't even know. They're playing with Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback, and they're winning games. That's just how good that team is. They'll whip everybody in the NFC this year.
Brian Smith says, man, your Ant-Man spitting facts. He does. That's why you got to subscribe to Roar the Lions UK. That's why I have him on. This guy knows what he's talking about. Subscribe to their channel. He is my number one. Like, if I had power rankings right now, he's got to be number one. He's got to be comeback YouTuber of the year, even though it's not really a comeback, in my opinion. He's the YouTuber of the year. Mr. Scotty the Bear. Are we going to have to beat Green Bay and referees to win this game? Yes. Yes, we are. But we're gonna have to we're gonna have to make it like a 10-point game so the refs don't F us.
Yeah, you got to do what you did against the Bears. You've got to get up early and get to the point where any questionable calls don't matter. Because I mean, was it the holding call the weekend just gone, which was like the most garbage thing I've ever seen in my life, and don't want to get that again. But yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to fight through refereeing adversity, and you fight through that by just absolutely whipping the other side to the point where it don't matter. That's what we're going to go and do.
Why doesn't St. Brown go so unnoticed in the NFL? Why is he unnoticed? I don't know why he gets unnoticed. Maybe because he's a 4th-round draft pick. I mean, they love their first-round draft picks. James Houston should be in the conversation with rookies. You don't hear it unless you're in Detroit. So I think that has a lot to do with it. What do you think why Amon-Ra first down doesn't get as much love as he should?
The same reason Mike Evans doesn't, and you kind of said it there. He's not a flashy name. He's not the guy who goes out and gets the massive, nearly 2,000-yard seasons, all that sort of stuff. He's just consistently a very great, he's consistently a great player, but he just never gets, that, I don't think he's elite. When you look at Jefferson, he's been elite. When you look at Kupp, they've been elite. And then, these guys who are really all the time, it's just not as good to stand over them, is it? Because you don't get the big highlight reels, you don't get all this and that. But I couldn't care less if he's getting underrated. It's, shame on other teams that they've not picked up on him so far. Keep underrating him for the rest of his career. I mean, it's worked for Evans, hasn't it? He spent his entire career being underrated, and yet he still pumps out 1,000-yard seasons without even breaking a sweat. So Amon-Ra will do the same.
We got 233 in the building. Can we get to 75 likes? That would be 24 away. And let's all say happy birthday to Rodney Smiley. He is 55. 55. Huge happy birthday, man. We love it, and hopefully for a birthday present, the Lions get that victory for sure. But happy birthday to you. We love it. I appreciate it 100%. Man, Brian Smith makes a great comment. This may be the comment of the year. I love this. Amon-Ra is Tyler Lockett for Detroit. Tyler Lockett, outstanding wide receiver, gets 0 recognition. That seems about right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Again, it's because you've got the highlight reel guy who doesn't do it as consistently next to him. And that's kind of why they get ignored. And that's why Amon-Ra gets ignored. All his, he doesn't get like the big 80-yard plays. He doesn't go up and moss people and stuff like that. What he does is he is consistently great at his route running, finding the gaps, getting the critical yardage. It's, it's third down with us, isn't it? Every third down, you need a critical reception. he's the guy that's been lasered in on, and he's the guy who gets it for you. But that don't make for a highlight reel for the NFL to show all the casuals, does it? So, just carry on underrating him. We don't care.
Hashtag FGB, do you guys think Hutch will get another interception against Aaron Rodgers? I do. I'm going to say no. Probably doesn't get another interception in this game. He's only got 3 on the year, and he obviously he did verse the first time we faced them. But what do you think?
I mean, I don't see us in a position in this game where we're going to rush one and play Aidan as an outside corner. I mean, that was kind of just really fun.
What a chess
Have you seen
move,
the video
by the
of
way.
Guys in the? It is, yeah. End of the half, Hail Mary, rush one, put Aidan as an outside corner. There was a video taken of him just sort of stood there, just like, da-da-da. You almost thought he was stood on the sideline.
That was a G
and then
move.
As soon as he looked, yeah, it was. He kind of suckered him into it because I don't think he realised he were there. And then as soon as it was thrown, bang, he went and got it. To be honest, I'd like to see them try that a little bit more, but
Hell yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to be in a situation where we rush one against the Packers. Although it would be fun if we did.
If you didn't see it, Aidan Hutchinson was on the side. He was right next to the sideline.
Yeah.
On that interception.
Just
So
like, doo-doo-doo.
yeah, so Justin Fields probably thought, oh, he's not even in this game. And then when the play, he just stand there, and then he jumps the route. That was a freaking G move by Aidan Hutchinson right there. I was laughing when I seen that. Speakeasy from Woodward Sports posted on his Twitter feed, and I was dying. You got to check that out if you haven't. Appreciate you, Den Bliss. You are as an OG in this game. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. If I missed your question, just repost it. Really do apologize for that. Devin Davis, hashtag FGB. Do you think we play Green Bay like we did last year with trick plays and going for it on 4th and shorts? 4th and shorts, yes. Maybe a trick play here and there, but it's different. I think we have a lot more talent this year compared to last year. Last year, I felt like we did trick plays because they knew we wouldn't have as much talent, and that was with the Rams game and other games. This is a little bit different now. What do you think there, Ant-Man?
I don't think we're going to. Last year there was zero pressure on us in the game against them. We were almost sort of at liberty to be able to go out and do things like that and mess around and see what we could get away with. This year there are real bona fide stakes on the table for us, a potential playoff appearance. So you can't just be so frivolous with how you play. I mean, if you're at the point of the game where it's really close in the 4th quarter and you need that little bit of magic to separate, by all means, be ballsy and go for it, but not all the way through this time. You've got to be sensible and take what you're given because you might not get it again.
$1.99 super chat from Crypto Silver Stack, and he says, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. He can be a bad man. He definitely can be. Thank you so much for that super chat. We got another one here from Mark Sanchez. $20 super from Mark Sanchez. I'm a diehard Hawks fan, and I hate the fact they made the Lions game on Sunday Night Football. If we win, the Lions won't beat the Pack. I know Campbell said they'll play the end, but 53 players with that same mentality if they're eliminated. Mark, thank you so much for that super chat. I see the butt fumble. I believe that's your avatar. Love it. No, they'll play to the end. I'm going to tell you that right now. Even if we're eliminated, this team is we did it last year when we were a garbage team. We won 3 of the last 6 games. This team just fights. It doesn't matter if they're in or not. They will fight to the bitter end. And trust me, that's the mentality that we have. I don't think you have to worry about that, Ant-Man.
Oh, no. You know what? All I would say to you, Mark, is we are the best team to put in this situation. Because I think we are, like Mike says, one of the bona fide few teams who will still give 100%. Because at the end of the day, there are guys here playing for their future in Detroit. There are guys here who might lose their roster spot if they just come and waltz through this one and don't try. This is still a big game for us. The opportunity to beat them, go 5-1 in the conference, to ruin Green Bay's playoff aspirations. We are still in a high-pressure environment against a team with real stakes on the line, and you have to show that you can win those games as well. So nothing changes as far as the Lions happen. You couldn't be in better hands in terms of a team that won't give up if you win.
Dallas says, I've never actually watched this show, but it's great. Thanks, man. We definitely appreciate it. Love to talk football. When the season is over, We're probably going to go to 2 shows a week still on here. Definitely, we do the post-game show on this channel. Obviously, it wouldn't be a post-game show when the season's over, but I do believe we should probably still do 2 shows a week. That's a possibility for sure. Maybe I'll just mix it up with my personal channel. We'll do like a 2-hour special. And that's something that we should do here. We got Rudy. Rudy says, "Go Pack Go. Much respect to the Lions. We know that they are a threat, but still go Pack Go." Hey, appreciate that. Respect right back to you, man. Obviously, you're not a cocky fan, and that's the best way to go. Hey, the cocky fans, whether it be like, it seems like this guy's a cocky fan. Couple of mooks whining about referees. Yeah, you're gonna get 6 sacks. Lions are Essies outside the dome. Packers, we need to get here we go. You are.
Finish him.
We are the best in the world. This comment gets a. Oh, we're gonna get a.
I'm giving her a D, man, a strong D.
This guy is really funny. Look, dude, you need some help, bro. It's a game. If you take it that crazy, I think you need a hug, man. You need a hug. I live in Holland, Michigan. I'll come give you a hug. Maybe it'll turn you on a little bit. I don't know, but I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you, bro.
Just because the Packers are amazing at Lambeau when something genuine's on the line, aren't they? The 49ers game, the Tampa game, they show. Oh wait, no, they didn't. They got their ass handed to them twice.
Oh man,
can't deal with pressure. That team.
You take.
Just
Look,
saying, like we're bad out the dome.
Job.
Yeah.
I do this for a job, bro. That's my job. Is YouTube now. And you take the game more serious than I do. And I get paid doing this. You take it more serious than I do. You need some help, bro. I'm here for you. It is what it is. We're all here for you, man. So show Steve Drake some love in the comment section. Give him a special shout-out for sure. We want the love for this guy because he needs a little bit of love, man. Yeah, happy birthday, Paul, for sure. Let's see, Detroit Lions talk with Opaz. Brad Holmes, amazing GM. Man, he's got to be executive of the year, right? Like it's got to be Brad Holmes.
The only trouble is that Howie Roseman exists, unfortunately. But yeah, absolutely, he's up there with GM of the year, and that's why the question got asked earlier: would you rather the draft pick or the playoffs? Well, it's like I don't give a flying where we pick in the draft, because I know Brad Holmes is going to pick a stud wherever he picks at. And to be honest, it's probably better if the draft picks aren't so high this year, because where we need guys, players, the values are better off a little bit further down anyhow. Trading down, this is the perfect year for us to be able to go get some bona fide talent, get a few more picks on there. I trust Brad Holmes implicitly, especially with the day 3 stuff. That's where when a GM's really special. When he can go and find day 3 talent. With Rodrigo, he found it there. He went into the HBCUs to find James Houston because he's got connections there. He knows the scene there. If you get a guy who can find you picks all throughout the draft, then you're in good hands. And with Brad Holmes, we are in very good hands.
Very good hands. James Houston is just an absolute steal in this year's draft. He's done a phenomenal job. Is he perfect? No GM's perfect. But I'm happy as hell that he's our GM. You look at him and compared to Bob Quinn, it's not even close. Like, it is ridiculous. We got a good one here. Like I say, he ain't perfect, but I love him, man. And Holmes, I trust. He's my Holmes me. If someone says their mic's on fire today, look, sometimes you get these trolls and you got to fight back. Like, and you just got to have fun with it. They get way too serious. They make burner accounts. So you got to have fun. You got to play with them a little bit. Just play with them a little bit. Just like,
that's it, mate. You fought off the communist Lions fans. Now it's the cheeseheads. There's always another enemy around the corner.
Oh, there's always an enemy, man. They love doing it, so I play right back. Hey, I'm not. You want to play? And then they get mad if you play back. It's like, then why are you trolling, man? Just don't. What is your level of confidence in getting the win? Like 51%. Like, this is a 50-50 to me. It can go either way, in all honesty, because it is in Green Bay. It is Aaron Rodgers and this team. I'm not 100% confident, obviously. I'm not Nostradamus, but I will say 51. What do you got? What's your percentage of confidence?
Mine's higher. I'd say I'm sort of in the 60 to 65 bracket. I will say this is the most confident I've been about a team to be able to go there and win in years. It might be controversial, but I've actually got more faith in Jared Goff to go and win there than I would have if it was Stafford.
Yeah.
Simply because this offense is less risque. It's a lot more sensible with the ball. You don't get those game-breaking turnovers in there, and it's a lot more dynamic than Staff ever had. We've got the run game. We've got such a great selection of receivers. We've got a quarterback who's banging form at the minute, looking after the football, keeping it safe. I would bank on this team more than I would any of the Stafford teams to go there and win. So I think we've got a good chance, providing we fight our hearts out.
I got to say, Brian Smith, I want everyone to show this guy some love. This dude has been on fire in the comment section. He's just doing comment of the day after comment of the day. This one just made my year, since I think we should send Will Harris over to sneak into their backfield and play for them instantly. Yes, that is, we send Tim Boyle. We send him to Chicago. Let's go ahead and send Will Harris over to Green Bay. Oh, yes,
Hey,
you got to do that.
You might get to see Boyle play this week, Mike. It's not the last you'll have seen of him, possibly.
Oh, man. If he's playing for Chicago, well, they may have the first pick in the draft by the end of the day. Oh, man. Hashtag FGB. I seen this video YouTube about the NFL being rigged or scripted. What is your thoughts? I think it's real difficult for it to be scripted or rigged. Do they probably have outcomes they like? Yeah. And that's the problem I have with referees, okay? And Vegas and betting. Could it happen? We've seen it in the NBA where there's rogue referees that do that. Do I think Roger Goodell potentially wants a certain outcome? Probably. I don't know if it's straight up rigged like WWE. I don't think that. That's quite difficult to do with 1,600 players and, 32 NFL head coaches. I can't see players trying to do that unless they're point shaving like we're in a movie. But what do you think?
I think it's hard. I think you can give certain advantages to teams. Like some would say that giving Sunday Night Football to the Packers is a little advantage to them. It's colder, it's later on, all the outcomes have been decided, so it works in their favor. They know what they've got to do. There can be little things like that, but I think outside of that, I'm not sure. But we'll see this weekend. We'll see how the refs behave. We'll see what sort of game they call, and if there's a lot of nitpicky things that go the Packers' way just to try and push them a bit. Who knows? But I try not to be conspiracy theorists like that. I would like to believe they've been honest with us all and they give us a playing field. But I'm probably just being vain there.
I can see rogue refs, though, because especially if they're betting on a game somehow, if they have a family member or if they are really in love with this said team, because everybody has a personal bias. I don't know if it's like straight up like rigged from Roger Goodell down, like this team needs to win. But I'm sure
if it's cleat,
yeah.
If it's cleat, I'm going to be watching through a fine microscope.
Like hands to the face a couple years ago. We all know that's
he was
BS,
that guy.
Man.
He's that guy. If we get him again, then every single decision he makes is going through a fine tooth comb.
Yeah.
Because I will be calling bull then if he's involved again.
Yeah, I think that's how it is, too. And, getting on a freaking party bus in Dallas, something like that for sure. Nothing to play for. If you're Detroit, you get a chance to beat Green Bay. That's 100%. If you're a Seattle Seahawks fan listening right now, trust me, they're going to be fighting as hard as they can, even if the Lions are already knocked out of the playoffs. They're going to be fighting hard as they can.
We've not earned the right to take games off. We've got a lot of roster decisions to make this off season. No one can afford a day off because if they do, their ass could be out the door. So it's just not going to happen.
If the Lions make the playoffs, who would you like to see in the first round? Definitely Minnesota Vikings. I don't want to face the 49ers, but I'd love to face the Vikings. I'm looking at the Vikings, and I don't know. They're a weird team. They're the worst 12-win team I've ever seen. When they win, it's barely winning, and when they lose, it's automatic blowout like a freaking baby diaper.
I would flip that question and go, which team would want to play the Detroit Lions? I guarantee if you polled everyone of who they want to play, I reckon we'd be the team that no one wanted to play. Because when good teams face off against one another, they're generally confident they can beat them in a way. But when you throw a wild card like Detroit in, with an offense which can put up 40 pretty easily and a defense that sometimes shows up, then it's just like, man, I don't want to take my chances against this. It's a lose-lose. I beat them. We're expected to beat them. We lose. It's a huge upset, and we're embarrassed. So I don't think anyone would want to play us on the flip side.
Yeah, I think the Lions can square up with any team in the NFL. Their defense obviously has some issues, but they can square up with anybody. We've seen it when you win as much as we have in the last 10 weeks, for sure. Hashtag F Sharon. What is the range where the Rams pick? Well, we're not going to be picking outside the top 10. It's guaranteed. I think the 10th team right now is a
4 to 9
7-win team, so they can only get to 6. I think they can get up to the 3rd pick, so I think it's between 3 and 9.
No, it's 4 to 9.
4 to 9? Okay, 4 to 9.
The Rams' strength of schedule is horrendous, so they will finish bottom. Because I think there's 3 teams on 4 wins. I think if they got into the next tier of like the lesser win teams, they've got the worst strength of schedule. So at best it'll be 4th. If they win another one, then they're bottom of the 6-win team, so they'll be 9th. So
hopefully
their strength of schedule has
man.
been shocking.
Hopefully it's 9th.
That'd be
that
nice.
They won.
That'd be nice.
But I appreciate everybody hanging out,
corner.
folks. Appreciate for the correction there. I didn't know if it was 3 or 4, but yeah, it was definitely up there. Lions have a shot. Big game. Big giant game on Sunday. So any last words, Ant-Man?
No, I'm really looking forward to this week. I just hope the Lions go out there and put in a great performance. But just, for Lions fans out there, all I would say is just remember where we were 2 years ago compared to where we are now. We nearly lost our franchise 2 years ago. Now we're in meaningful competitive football in January. So whatever happens, just keep an eye on the bigger picture. We have come so far these last 2 seasons, and we are going to a very good place under all these guys here. So let's just go. Let's give it everything we've got, and let's enjoy the hell out of this, because this is where we want to be.
Adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.